right, well, the European Central Bank is, of course, based in Frankfurt, where we can go now and find our colleague Owen Fairclough. Good evening to you, Owen. Now, Mario Draghi disappointing investors today. He says he's not going to be the one to pull out a big bazooka and solve the Eurozone crisis.
Well, Laura, coming into this meeting today, many people thought that Mario Draghi might be the sort of Father Christmas in all of this drama, somebody who could throw the limitless reserves, it seems, of the European Central Bank towards the likes of Italy and Spain and give them an unlimited credit lifeline for their distressed economies. Instead, what we got was a bit of a lecture from Mario Draghi and a reminder that the European Central Bank is not the great white knight in this crisis, is not the ultimate backstop, and is certainly not the organisation which all of these Eurozone economies should be relying on right now for help. We've got a reminder that under the treaty of the European Central Bank, the ECB should not be monetising sovereign states, should not be basically giving them credit lifelines. So it's a bit of a harsh lesson, and make no mistake, very much a rebuke to leaders like Nicolas Sarkozy, who would like to see the ECB be the ultimate lender. On top of that, just to add some more to the festive gloom, if you like, we've got some fairly grim predictions for the next 12 months or so that European growth would be around 0.2%. That is barely no growth. On top of that, inflation will remain at around 3%. Perhaps the only bit of good news we got was that interest rate cut that will provide a little bit more credit to many of the Eurozone's vulnerable banks.
Now, Owen, we also heard from, as you just spoke there about the banks, we heard from the European Banking Authority, the European watchdog today, that European banks, they're going to need to recapitalise by around about 115 billion euros before the end of next June. That's 8 billion euros more than what the EBA said back in October. What kind of support is Mario Draghi really handing out here for the banks?
Well, we've got things like halving the requirements, the kind of reserve deposits that banks have to give the European Central Bank. That'll put around 100 billion euros on the table. It will put that money effectively back into the system so that these banks can effectively lend to businesses, lend to individuals, just to try and get a bit of credit flowing through the Eurozone and try and stop this credit crunch, which has been affecting not just Europe, but the US as well. There were various other mechanisms giving banks basically unlimited loans for the next 3 years. Currently, they only get them for up to a year, so they're effectively trebling that time frame that these banks get, all with the aim of just trying to ease credit conditions a little bit. And yet, at the same time, we've got that warning from the European Banking Association that even German banks, supposedly some of the most rock-solid institutions in Europe, even they are now at risk in this whole Eurozone crisis.
Certainly, that is a worrying thing. Thanks very much indeed, Owen Fairclough, reporting there from Frankfurt.